Good morning. So we are still down here in Costa Rica. We flew in last weekend, and for this video, before we depart back to DFW, I wanted to do a quick aerial flight around the city here. I'm just going to follow down some of the highway that I'm familiar with, some side roads. I'll hover over a hotel I've stayed at, two hotels I've stayed at in the area, and then just kind of fly over some offices that I've seen and that I've noticed don't look quite right in this, and then we'll fly over downtown, take a look at that. What I really wanted to call out in this, while the video skips along at higher rate of speed, is kind of a disappointment. Now, I didn't expect every aspect of the city to be painstakingly recreated. I mean, even when I first flew around DFW, there was a lot of problems with buildings in the middle of the roads and simple stuff like that. They fixed some of that before they did the US upgrade, which greatly enhanced a lot of the look and feel of things. But what I'm talking about here is they're using satellite imagery from mapping software to take a look at these cities and build things out. In doing so, either their mapping software is so horribly outdated that the city is beyond outdated, or they don't have accurate updates to all sections of the city, because there's a few spots that look fairly decent, fairly accurate, and then there's a number of spots that are just horribly outdated. As you saw when we took off and flew down the runway, there's actually a crossover taxiway that loops down to the very end of runway 25 here that's been there for 2.5, 3 years. It was there when I first flew down in May 2019, and it's not here now in June of 2021. That's 2 years on, and the airport is still vastly outdated. The terminal isn't set up quite right. The road and the parking garage up front is not quite right. So there's a lot of very outdated things. And when I fly over some of these areas, you'll notice that some of the ground textures are very low quality, as though the satellite images are really, really old and very outdated because they're not able to create a high enough resolution image to recreate what's actually out there at the moment. So very disappointing on that front of things, to see how badly some areas of the world are currently recreated. And I don't think they need to go down and do bespoke work in every single part of the country. I know they'll get there as they work their way through common and popular large-scale areas, but if you recall back to flying past the terminal, and as we flew over that highway, you can see the pixels from this altitude, and that's pretty terrible. And it's not like Costa Rica is a complete third world country with nobody there. I mean, it's a fairly popular tourist destination. It's got a fairly large population. Yeah, it's a huge jungle for a lot of it, and the jungle aspect looked great, but I'm just really surprised at how low quality the mapping technology is. When we get up to downtown and we fly over their football stadium, it looks like an apartment complex. It's not a football stadium at all. It's completely the opposite of what their football stadium actually looks like, which is actually a kind of neat building, but just really surprising. So just wanted to do this quick little nip around the area, show kind of the different layouts to the older neighborhoods, some of the newer neighborhoods, some of the old buildings and industrial warehouses, and just kind of the way things are laid out. It's a very different country, but it's very interesting and pretty, and I like it down there. So hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time for the flight back to DFW.